This is the Songwriting Mind, a program exploring the personal depths of creativity, stories, and craft that define songwriting. In this episode, we'll hear from Micha Silvius, singer-songwriter based in Coos County, Oregon. Enjoy.
My dad, back in the day, was a classical pianist. That definitely informed a lot of my music sensibilities really early on in my life. Did a lot of theater and musical theater, choir. I unfortunately went to a Catholic school and did a lot of intense choir, lots of like Vivaldi, which I did not enjoy at the time, but has definitely informed musical decisions that I make. I'm also very influenced by other art forms. I studied film in college, film and history, and so I just remember as a kid with my sister watching a bunch of films and being very much into film scores, even TV themes I was really into as a kid. Watching my sister play Nintendo, I really liked the music, and it's occasionally I'll hear like a Super Mario theme in one of my songs, or like a tendency towards, like, that sounds like the Bowser theme or something. So yeah, I have a lot of different influences. So I learned piano really young. And then my parents gave me an electric blue Stratocaster in high school and started strumming away. And I'd say I was tinkering a lot as a kid with like different parts of songs, but the song I remember most that had like multiple parts and had like a central theme, I wrote early in my college life. And I was taking history classes and was reading about influenza 1918 and wrote my first song was about influenza 1918. It is a song called Johnson, and it is about, I remember reading at the time about doctors during influenza when they didn't have a vaccine were giving out like placebos or folk medicine, and it's kind of this whole world about a doctor who gives out placebos, and there's people dying in the streets, and it's a whole 1918 world. So yeah, that is my first song, history jumping, and I tend, like, I can see the through line to now. I'm 40, and that was back when I was like 18, that I do tend to like to be in other worlds. I like to be in different characters' heads. It's probably some deep wall that I have up where I can't say what I really feel, but it has to be like focused or like channeled through someone else. But yeah, that was my first song, Johnson. I mean, I definitely say it wasn't fully developed at that point, but I definitely had the spark where I was like, ooh, there's so much you can write about. A lot of popular music is limited in where it goes and where it can potentially go. Like, there's a whole world that's rich out there. You can time jump, you can be in another character. And so that was really exciting for me. I also think I have like, I don't know if it's like the film score-ish or like the classical influence, but I tend to like scales that are a little darker and a little more nuanced and maybe a little more mysterious. I find it stimulating because the lyrics need to fit the emotion that's being conveyed in those scales, which can be really hard to find the puzzle and find the right words for what is being expressed because it is so mysterious. I think the like theater and film background, I do like to like channel what is going on here through some type of character. And so I'll like take on the voice of someone else. I guess it makes me feel more comfortable about being vulnerable and getting into a more kind of nuanced subject matter or theme. So the song I'm going to do is a song called Green. As I mentioned before, I'm very influenced by movies. I feel like whatever you're consuming comes out in songs, and you should use whatever you're impacted by to inspire you with your songs. And this is, I was inspired by a movie called The Green Knight, which came out a few years ago. Okay, so this is kind of coming from the character of the Green Knight. There's a figure in the movie who kind of represents, he's like a death figure or like a figure of green growth.
Through the stream, through fine cracks in the rock, through verdant shades and hues, you pull me out by the root. But don't you worry, I'll creep back in. In pastures grown over battlefields, ingesting shapes and shields, you'll scrub me out of your carved stone. Don't you worry, I'll be there in the night and in the end, holding your head in my hand. I'll grow your gravestones, your phones, your guns, your bones turn to
Sweet. Thanks. Before I wrote this song, I think I saw the movie like a year and a half or 2 years before that, and just was very impacted by what it was saying, the themes it was exploring, especially the theme of essentially the only constant in life is that nature will like outlive us, and kind of the concept of when we die, nature will decompose us and will grow through us and essentially outlive us. And the Green Knight is kind of a figure of that. When I start songs, since I still view myself as very much like a student of songwriting, occasionally I'll start a song by exploring a musical concept that I want to understand, like I want to do harmonic minor, or I want to learn what a chromatic mediant is, or tritone or something. With this one, I was like, I want to sit down and mess around with an arpeggiator and the synth. Originally, this song was with kind of more of like an analog synth sound. I could sense a little bit of what emotion was coming from it. In fact, I think I even asked my partner Dan, when I just had like the music with the arpeggiator, no idea of what it was gonna be about. I was like, what are you getting from this song? Like, what kind of emotions are you feeling? Occasionally I'll ask my partner how he feels about it and like see if we're kind of like syncing up on the emotions felt. And I just happened to stumble on like more of like a harp sound that I really liked with the arpeggiation. And it brought me to like very much the like Green Knight world. It kind of has like a old kind of medieval sound to it. And I was like, ooh, let's try and explore what's going on in that movie since it impacted me so much. And just really loved the concept of nature taking over us when we go, and how that is like actually kind of comforting. Very frightening at the same time, but comforting. And so I guess it's kind of like a acceptance of death song. There's quite a few songs that I've done for the songwriters group where, man, just instrumental is better, and trying to find a melody that works for the song that I'm currently working on can be too much of a puzzle, too forced, and I'll just allow songs to be instrumental, even though I like the vocal part is my favorite. Finding the melodies and finding the harmonies too can be really satisfying. Sometimes you just don't need words over music, and music is conveying enough, and you can allow the audience to go wherever they want to go without you leading where it should go, I guess. I guess it's also like creating a world too. Like Tim likes to create imagery with words. I feel like music can also create a space and a world too. I think for the green song especially, I feel like I have a pretty active imagination and very visual imagination. So I think, yeah, that and especially the Green song is very visual. Like you can walk around in the world. I'm hoping you can walk around in the world too. And there's occasional lines of me trying to get a message across, which is we are constantly trying to stomp out overgrowth of nature or green things. Yeah, we should feel more comforted by it. And it's just, death is a natural thing. And it's okay to be frightened by it, but it's also like a warm hug too, you know? Like when you're buried in the ground, that's like nature's warm hug, right? You know, so that's kind of what I was getting at. I don't know. So yeah, frightening and comforting at the same time. And I think that's what I felt from the movie, is I actually thought it was a hopeful, comforting, scary movie, which is kind of, I guess, what we should feel about the constants of death. So, got to start with the death song. Without the constraints of the songwriters group, you know, I'm like, how do I write a song now? Seriously, without a deadline. I, for the past 10 years, didn't write very much and almost felt very like creatively closed off. Didn't share as much. Kind of viewed it more as like a therapeutic thing for me and me only, and tended to like hold on to my darlings and mull over them. And I feel like the songwriters group has been really helpful for me, not only because of the constraint of the deadline, but also like bonding with other musicians in the area, and that like sharing feels good, even if it's not one you're super proud of. Musicians will always be around and highly supportive. Most of them are here tonight, which is amazing. Motivation has only gotten me so far. It's more of the like designing things better in your life so that I have this constraint and the pressure. Like I need the pressure and the tension to complete something. And let it go, you know, to really let it go. So I wrote this into the fall, and it was a very rough summer on the farm. We unfortunately had unexpectedly lost a 9-year-old dog, and had to put a cat down. Then we're also caring for a very old sick dog at the same time, and turned 40 at the same time. So I was kind of having like I was already kind of going through like a midlife, not a crisis, what else would you call it? Oh, yeah, awakening. Put the positive spin on it. Thank you. That's it. Crises can be good as long as you reflect. So yeah, I was going through all of these things, and I really just wanted to write like a fun, playful, up-tempo song, because a lot of my songs tend to be ballad or in the dark sphere. We were also raising a puppy at the time, so this song is very much about like embracing your inner child and just remembering to play even when you're 40. This one might get a little bassy. Okay, volume.
Don Quixote. That's what you read in your 40s. I know it feels like your time is closing in. You were wondering, but here is the thing. Would you put down that book? Could you conjure memories laughing as a child now? Does that ring a bell at
We were just talking about singing from a character. So that, with that song, I definitely had like in my mind, a like David Byrne, Stop Making Sense kind of like a huge suit kind of character, like alter ego of me telling me to be a child for a little bit and play and stop working so goddamn hard. So yeah, that was the idea behind it. You know, sometimes it can be a deterrent, like technology in general can sometimes be a deterrent in, like, as far as inspiring a creative flow. So I kind of like, especially if the learning curve is steep on learning a new software, but as long as the like software and the like instrument itself is accessible, I've found it helps the creative flow, especially like the sound design element, because that can like the sound, the instrumentation, the like whether you're using synth or just doing piano can like change completely the direction of the song. Sometimes if I'm feeling more piano-y, I'll just go to like our regular piano and just kind of live in that like acoustic place. Sometimes I'm feeling more sound designy and we'll like pull out this rolly. I tend to write the like music first so I can get an idea of what is being conveyed, the emotion that's being conveyed, the potential like visual that you can grab at, anything that can like focus the brain on some type of direction. I'll tend to write that stuff first and then have like the vocal melody stuff going on at the same time. It's kind of a weave that I don't know if I'm like 100% conscious of my process yet, so I might have like a harder time articulating it. But yeah, so the music is coming out, the melodies, the like vocal melodies, or the solo kind of melodies, or like the bass line melody is coming through. Occasionally I'll have like a line before I even start the music, and probably actually my next song is a good example of this. Technically, I wrote a song called The Magic Stuff, which I had written most of the music part on piano. And I think it was like Saturday or Sunday of the songwriting challenge. And I was like, fuck, I don't know what this is about. So I decided to go to my like idea book or journal. And occasionally in the mornings, I'll like read nonfiction or like articles, long form articles, and I'll like be inspired by a phrase or a line and write it down in the book and keep it next to the couch where I have my like morning tea. So I had the music for the song that I'm gonna sing, and I think it was Sunday, and I like just out of desperation looked through the idea book and saw a page where I had written about an article that was talking about like how there's microplastics in the clouds. And I had written down like a few phrases from the article that I really liked. There's like a visual of like plastic confetti, like different colored plastic confetti. And I was like, ooh, that's like with the music, I kind of had this like dream pop, Roy Orbison, Randy Newman kind of songwriting thing going on. And I had this like wavy bass line, and it kind of sounded like like it could be a love song. And I was like, ooh, what if you like did a demented love song about plastic? And so I started with that like visual of like confetti, plastic confetti. It kind of scared me to even try to write a song like this because I was like, this could be really weird and like, I don't know if preachy is the right word, but I try and lean into the fear when it's there. And so this one kind of fell out in a day when I was like, let's just try and free fall with the plastic thing. Let's just try it. It felt forced, but like I feel like the forcing actually paid off with this one. I think it works. But yeah, I could sing it right now if you want. Okay. I can't even remember your original question. I'm sorry. I tend to like ramble.
Yellow, blue, and white confetti coming down straight from the clouds and onto me. You're everywhere, you're light and easy. You're in my thoughts. You're in my lungs, you're in my guts, but in my heart, melting in swirls and broken beats. We went from stone to bronze to iron, to the magic stuff deep in the ground you'll never leave. You'll always remain in the Anthropocene, melting in swirls and broken beats. In 400 years I'll be gone with the crazy brain, but you'll stay the same now in my dreams, melting in swirls and broken. You might have made me crazy with all that you left behind. If nobody knows in 100 years' time, I know that when I die, you will be right there inside.
Did it work? I do remember when I came up with that melting and swirls and, or what is it? Melting and swirls and broken in beads. I was like, oh yeah, that is like exactly what was supposed to be there. And that didn't even feel like conscious, like that is the best songwriting, when it just plops out and it like very much works. So there's like a line or anything that you can like grab onto, a visual. I think the like having a title really helps. It can just kind of help, like you've got like a central idea. It doesn't always feel like that. Like Green took a long time. I don't know if it felt forced, but it took a long time to find the right lines. That doesn't, just because something was forced doesn't mean it's bad, I think there's like a tendency to think that if it's not like coming out naturally, then it's, I've always liked as a kid, like a pastime of mine is sitting down with a song that I really like musically, and I like hear a line where I'm like, ooh, that means something more, and then actually like sitting down with the lyrics and following along. So I think it's comforting. It's a little nerve-wracking at the same time, and like talking about something that's very vulnerable and that you're kind of unsure of your own process. That's also like a mysterious process, is a little nerve-wracking, but it's also cool to let you all into the world too, and try and articulate it, for which I can't do very well. It can be hard to edit once you have something down and you feel like more on the sure side of it, to come back to. I have a harder time like reopening songs, but occasionally there's lines that like just don't quite fit right, and deep in your heart that that it could be reworked. The next song I'll sing is a song about Coos Bay. And at the time I had written it, I was really stressed out with farming, and I went to the farmer's market as a produce farmer, and you're putting in a lot of work for not really receiving very much. And so I was in that like height of just like farmer stress. At one of the farmer's market, some guy behind me freaking violently cussed me out, and I got really angry. And so like this fueled the like original draft of the song. I tend to like songs, if they're going to be like about a location, that it's like honest about its mixed feelings towards the place. So songs like I Love LA, like Randy Newman. It's a pop song, but it is great. Great lyrics. There's a Frank Black song called LA that is critical of it. So I kind of like these location songs that are a little more nuanced in how they feel about the place. There's like the deep love for the place, but there's things that cause a lot of irritation.
Ooh. Skeleton and Bigfoot decals on race trucks, rolling coal down the highway. Well, welcome to the Bay. The adult fun center is just right across the street. Welcome to the Bay. Ooh, welcome to the Bay. It's raining sawdust, and they're sending the mountain straight to China. You're never gonna wanna leave the Bay. Saw screaming in the woods. It's getting spooky at the Speedway with the best people I know. You're gonna love these gems of the Bay. Ooh, welcome to the Bay. Ooh, please don't leave the Bay. Ooh, never leave the Bay. Flying down the highway, that tree line silhouette, fog over crescent moon. I'll never leave the Bay. Well, if some light could hit the Bay.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriting Mind. This interview with Micha Silvius was recorded in front of a live audience at So It Goes Coffeehouse in Coos Bay, Oregon on January 3rd, 2025. This podcast was produced by me, Eric Princess Dragon. If you enjoyed, please follow us and share with others. Peace.